An independent inquiry in the UK into child sex abuse offenders in England and Wales found that there are loopholes in the law which allow convicted sex offenders, particularly those who have targeted children, they have the ability to travel overseas where they end up using child slavery in usually Asia and Africa to abuse children even further. Now, they're showing that these registered sex offenders, these are not people who are accused, these guys are already been convicted of what they're doing, to have now, because there's no travel restriction on most of them, that they've been able to get away with this. They've been able to go overseas. Now, as of March 31st, 2018, just 0.2% of the 58,637 registered sex offenders in England and Wales have had their overseas travel restricted. Oh, that's a very small number. You would think that at least the ones who abuse children would be restricted in some way. Now, I know there's a very fine line between, going to prison, paying your debt to society, and then being able to get out and not have too many of your freedoms restricted. But I mean, if we're finding that they're getting out and harming children, that's what this report is mostly focused on, is about harming children, then something definitely very much needs to be done in this case. The report did also highlight the particular high-profile cases like Gary Glitter, a performer who sexually abused children in Asia. It was, I believe it was 2 10-year-old girls in Vietnam, after he had previously been convicted of possessing indecent pictures while in the UK. Now, another notorious offender singled out was Richard Huckle, known as Britain's worst pedophile. He was convicted in 2016 of 71 counts of serious sexual assaults against children while employed as a teacher in Malaysia. Huckle was stabbed to death in his prison cell on October 13th, 2019. I think it's very clear at this point from what this study does show that there is a very serious legal gap in the UK that is allowing these sexual predators to be able to leave the country, go overseas, and engage in child slavery. Now, you don't get to call them child sex workers. I'm sorry, Tumblr, you don't get to do that, because these children are enslaved, as are the vast majority of prostituted women in the world. I mean, it's not like, the Bunny Ranch in Las Vegas, where it's this nice bourgeois little setup. The vast overwhelming majority of the sex trade in the world is actual literal slavery. And this is something that's very known. Obviously, men in the rich countries go to poor countries to take advantage of women in economic hardship, to use them as prostituted women, and to use children as well, and then creates a whole industry and sex trafficking industry behind that as well. So it's very clear that while the UK by no means is the only country with this problem, it is nice to see that the UK has recognized that this problem exists and making recommendations on how to deal with this in the future to try to protect at least some of the women and girls in the world from these predators.
Thank you for watching. If you like this program, then please head over to my Patreon page and set up a monthly donation. It's your donations that keep this program running. Also, if you would like, please rate, comment, subscribe, and share in various social media.